Today I'm in Saskatoon and I'm joined by Fraser and Vanessa from YXL Properties, and we discussed their 6th flip in 18 months. And what's really exciting is Fraser is actually on the cusp of transitioning into real estate full time. So I'm really excited to bring this story. As you guys can see on the door back there, we broke down and dived deep into the numbers. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to shoot this video.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming. Thanks for reaching out to us and connecting with us. Yeah, you guys are always welcome, and I love talking numbers and talking real estate, and yeah, I can chat numbers and stuff all day. So
in today's video, we're going to share exactly the numbers behind this deal, how they found this deal, and the design choices for this property. Let's get into it. And first of all, thanks Fraser for breaking down all the numbers. I know that this is what the fans really love and enjoy. So if you don't mind, let's maybe just talk real high level about where we are. We're in Saskatoon. So
yep.
What's this neighborhood look like before we get into the numbers specifically on this project?
Yeah, this neighborhood's awesome. It's a pretty sought after neighborhood in Saskatoon. There's a lot of people buying houses in this area that the price points are a little bit higher compared to current market prices, like averages in Saskatoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very good area. It's one of our target areas, and we ended up finding the property here. So yeah, it worked out really good.
Yeah, and so this was a private deal,
It
right?
was, yeah. We found it off market. It was a guy I knew actually, and they just wanted it gone, so we took it off their hands. And yeah, I can go through some of the numbers here, and we'll check it out.
Let's dive into it.
Yeah, so this is our company, YXL Real Estate Investments, and then my wife's company is Magdalena Designs. She does all the interior design, and not just like picking furniture. She's doing AutoCAD drafting and like laying everything out, like lighting design or lighting layout, electrical layout, which way the flooring's being laid, stuff like that. We're all about
That's
systems
so
and
valuable.
processes. Yeah. So yeah, anyways, we picked this property up for about $225. The city assessment right now on this property, I think, is around $355, $360, something like that. And we're going to put about $50,000 into this property. We do have an investor on this property, and the fixed costs, like your realtor fees, lawyer fees, the JV, stuff like that.
The holding costs,
utilities, that's going to run about $15,000. So then our after repair value on a conservative scale is $360,000. That's very conservative for this area, but I like to run all my numbers conservative. Keep your numbers true, like we were talking earlier. You don't lie to yourself.
It's really easy to lie to yourself.
Yeah. So. And then that leaves us with a gross profit of roughly $70,000, but that's split with the JV, with our investor.
Yeah. Okay, so let's maybe break this down line by line then. So purchase price $225. Is that the first thing you offered and they said yes, or what did that actually look like?
We actually offered $220 and they came back at $225. Like I said, there was a lot of motivation to get out of this property. Yeah. So they came back and asked if we would do $225, and the numbers still worked for me, obviously. So we went ahead with it.
And when you're making your private offers, are you cash no conditions, or what does that look like?
We left it out on this one. We just did up an offer. We didn't even do subject to financing. We had a couple different lines on investors, so we knew that we could close it. Yeah. So we ended up closing this one cash. Okay. So that worked out good, yeah.
So rental costs, $50,000. Do you mind just walking us through high level what that consists of?
Yeah, so basically on this house, we're doing a kitchen, paint, flooring, bathroom, and that's pretty much it. All your big ticket items are done. Your kitchen runs roughly about $10,000. Your bathroom's another 10, flooring, paint, and miscellaneous is the remainder. So that's basically where that comes from. It's a super boring flip project, but that's what you want.
That's where the profit is.
Honestly,
right?
We never get houses like this. So
you don't want your investing to be too exciting. And that means that you don't have the systems and processes and procedures in place.
And even the houses, like usually we're knocking out walls and stuff like that. I'll take you guys to another property after this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some beat up homes that we work with, so this is a treat. Our trades are gonna love this one.
Okay, and so $15,000 fixed costs. How do you go about estimating what your fixed costs are going to be?
We've done enough now. I know roughly where those numbers lay, and your realtor costs on the sale, or your big cost on that. Chunk. Yeah. So on 360, that'll be whatever, 12 grand. We'll get a discount. Like we work with the same realtor on our end, so. We'll
you've built up a relationship with them, you're able to
he still gets a commission, but it's just a reduced commission because of volume.
Yeah.
So, and then the JV is about $750. we're hammering that out right now. We're building out our templates for our different JV styles. Like if it's a debt investing, so like a set interest rate, we have a JV for that. And if we do equity, like a 60-40 split like this one, we have a JV built for that. And we're just working out those processes right now, so we don't have to go back to the lawyers and get them to completely redraft it each time.
Yeah.
So because that's a big added cost when you start doing volume. So.
Okay, so let's kind of break down then exactly what this deal looks like from YXL and your investors' perspective. So you're the active partner, they're the money partner?
Yeah, we're the managing partners and they're the money partners. So on this one, it worked out. We negotiated a 60-40 split with equity on this investor, so YXL gets 60% and the investor gets 40%. And projected profits on this for YXL would be about $42,000, and then for the investor it works out to about $28,000, but it's completely passive. So it's a really good return. He's really happy with that. So, and then timeline is about 3 to 4 months.
And that includes actually listing and selling the property.
Yeah. We think it'll sell quick in this area, and honestly we could probably do the reno in about 2.5, maybe 3 months. So this is a quick one. It's nice and easy. Usually we're running 6-month timeline, so yeah, again, this is a treat. This isn't a conservative number, that's pretty actual, but yeah.
And so I know one of the questions people are going to ask is this split. How do you decide what's an appropriate split to offer to an investor?
This is actually a very interesting property because of the margins on this one. I had the purchase price cheap enough. Comps for other people scooping up flips in areas like this are going around 260. We actually lost a flip a little while ago to a cash offer a little bit, what would that be, east of here, and the price was around 260. So I offered this, I threw it up on a couple different platforms to investors that I knew, and I offered it out at 260. I was debating on wholesaling it, so that would net about 35, completely passive, and then basically wholesaling is just when you put it under contract and then you can't handle it or you're too busy, you can wholesale the contract. And then so anyways, I had about 3 or 4 people that were interested at that price, so or at 260, so I could have wholesaled it. So me and the investor were going to do 50-50. That's what he wanted, and I just explained to him, if we did do 50-50, then it nets about 35. So I might as well have just wholesaled it and took the quick cash, right?
Because you'd have less headaches wholesaling
and
actually executing.
Less of a timeline. So I could have had that done in 1 month versus 3 to 4 months. So we ended up working out a 60-40 because I do value working with this investor, just because he does. I really like the guy. He's just a good guy, and he has the capital to fund projects like this, which is nice cash. So that opens up a whole new world for us. So that in turn is valuable for us, and that's what we took into consideration. And then also where we're going as a company with access to capital like that, eventually we might be able to leverage that out a little bit more and get into higher price points and get into better areas of just flips, basically. So which in turn brings larger margins. So
I think that's great, and I think that's a great lesson for a lot of the audience too, is you don't necessarily just have to do the generic 50-50 split that a lot of us are like accustomed to seeing. You can really build it out, and like I love the fact that you built out essentially a business case for the investor to understand why they're not getting 50-50. I think that's really important to share your perspective. Hey man, look, I'm going to make $35,000 kind of headache, hassle-free if I wholesale it. So there needs to be an incentive here for me to really want to go the extra mile and like commit the 3 to 4 months of managing my project manager.
Exactly. But we looked into the distance as a company and it worked out. But yeah, we're trying to shift everybody away from equity and move over to debt, just because you do pay a lot in equity. That's your most expensive money, basically. So
and a money partner is less management from like a relationship standpoint versus an equity partner. An equity partner wants to usually be updated a lot more on the intricate details that are going on. They want status updates, all this, where a lender is simply looking like, are you making your interest payments?
Exactly.
Are you on the generic high-level timeline? That's what really matters to them. Okay, so now Fraser's going to dive a bit deeper into exactly what did the investor invest as far as capital goes, and just kind of how that all flows. So take it away.
Yeah, so the investor capital into the deal is about it's exactly $313,000. That's an all-cash investment. And then how it breaks down, how I got the $313,000. This is how I got to that number. So the purchase price is $225,000. $50,000 is your rental cost. $15,000 is your fixed cost, and again, that's lawyers and realtors and stuff like that. And then we put a $23,000 reserve in because, like I was mentioning earlier, the worst thing that you can do is go back to your investor for more money, and it does happen. There are overages, like in these 100-year-old houses that we renovate. Like we just ran into knob and tube, and that blew the electrical budget up to like $8,000, right?
Yep.
You know,
absolutely.
And so it is good to have reserves. You do need to have them. And then, yeah, that breaks down the profit to about $28,000 for the investor, $313,000 into the deal. So you divide those two, and it gives you your cash on cash ROI, or return on investment, and it's a really good return.
Yeah, and that's over 4 months.
That's 4 months.
So if we were to annualize it, it'd be 3 times this amount, right?
Exactly.
So you're looking at closer to 20%
exactly.
cash on cash.
And that's basically, that's one thing I say too. If we kept your money busy all year, like out of one project into another, which relates back to the deal flow, you need to have deal flow coming in, which is what we're working on right now. Once you annualize it, it's a way larger number. You're up in the 20s, but people get scared of the bigger ROIs too, so you have to be careful of that. You can't say like, oh, you're gonna get a 20% ROI, because people are like smart investors
like, their like BS detector might go off,
exactly,
and they might get a little skittish about entering into that deal.
Yeah, so you gotta just really watch what you say and be conservative with your numbers. Don't lie to yourself. Just be diligent. That's all I can say.
I love it. And so I know one question we're definitely going to get is, why buy in cash? So do you mind breaking down for the audience why you decided to buy this house in cash rather than get a mortgage? It
was just easier, honestly. We're going for simplicity now. We have a couple investors coming on board with a larger capital reserve. So when you do put more cash into the deal, it actually drops your ROI, and basically how the numbers work on that, if he would have got a mortgage for that, say it would have been 60 some thousand down payment, and then he's getting a $28,000 profit, he's getting a huge return on his investment. So that's another piece that went into the equation when we decided to do a 60-40. This guy's doing all cash, so that's huge. We wouldn't have done a 60-40 with somebody that was qualifying for a mortgage on this one. So that's basically how that worked out.
Gotcha. Yeah, and so some of the reasons why cash is easier is just like you're not going to have to necessarily get an appraisal done. You can just you can make those cash offers without having to delay going firm on the deal and having to wait 7 or 10 days in order to get the traditional financing. And
sellers love it. If you can close quickly without any inspection. We didn't do inspection on this house. I went through it. I know what I'm looking for. We didn't make them come meet us again. It was just nice and easy. They met us at the property once and the deal was done. And I actually told her, I laid out the process for her. I said, basically sign this agreement. We'll get it signed up, and then we go to the lawyer, or you go to the lawyers a week or two before closing, and you give them direct deposit information, leave them a key, and we take care of the rest. And that's basically it from a seller standpoint, and that's one thing that we offer. It's important to make it simple for people when the motivation is high to get out of a property. You have to make it easy for them, so yeah.
I love it. Seems like great numbers. The project's just starting, so we're actually going to do a tour now. We'll check it out. You guys can see the before, and maybe we'll get some after photos later, and we'll share it with you. All right, guys, so now we're going to tour the property, and Vanessa's joined us. You're kind of the brains behind the operation as far as design goes. That's what we've heard.
I would say so.
Awesome. So they're essentially just going to walk us through the project, explain exactly the design choices you're making, kind of the reason behind it, and we'll even share some of the numbers. So let's check it out.
All right.
All right, so first thing we see kind of as we enter kind of your generic 60s, 70s style.
What I first saw was this little...
This is so stereotypical.
Exactly, and some would say take it out, people don't like it, it's kitsch and stuff, but I say keep it. It's so beautiful. For me, I think it's just, I try to salvage as much as I can to kind of the period of the house, so I think there's really something to be done, and it's kind of mid-modern can be really brought back, and it obviously kind of painted, maybe a bright color or a little bit tamer, maybe a navy, but definitely try to keep as much as you can from the house. Like even this light is pretty cool to me, but I know that not everybody would like it, but I think there's something you can really keep the flair of the house with, making it still more modern and just better for the buyer right now. So I think we're gonna keep, well, I know we're gonna keep this. we're gonna keep this paneling as well. I think it's pretty cool. We'll paint it.
And so what color choices will you use for paint?
Oh, my first idea was maybe black, but I think that might be a little bit too much. We're thinking maybe some navy, but we'll have to say the kitchen will be really light, so but with black hardware, so some accents, so just kind of tie in everything in there. Here, this accordion door, this, you know, like you'd like to keep, but I think that's not very practical right now. So the idea, it's a little bit closed off when you come here, so we thought opening it and putting a bench here and some hooks, so then it would feel a little bit more open. However, we are in Saskatchewan and there's like big jackets and in the winter, so I always want to keep, you know, something really nice design-wise, but also practical. There's no point in doing something that's just going to be nice in pictures and then someone's going to hate living in here. So it might be a little more of a half bench facing this way, and then keeping half of a closet that you can actually close the door in there. So yeah, so far we're kind of we've ordered the kitchen. I've just picked all the countertop, all the tile, everything that's kind of like longer delays, and then here we're just gonna work on all of this would be built on site and kind of custom, so then kind of decide on that a little bit further in. So still deciding on that.
Take care of the big lead time items first though.
So this is the kitchen, really good size, and it's actually in a really good, I mean, it's in good shape, however not very modern right now, so probably needed an update. We were debating taking this wall out and really making it an open space. However, for the cost and the fact that some things out of this house, like it doesn't have an ensuite, the bedrooms are a good size but not huge, I don't think that the money would be worth all the work of taking this wall out. And also it's always nice still, the open concept, but also having some walls to put furniture on in the living room. And this opening is still really wide, so I think it still feels really open, so I think we're going to keep that. And our contractor laughs because I'm like, I'm not going to move the plumbing for like the first time ever. So actually this is going to stay, the layout's going to stay pretty similar. However, we're going to incorporate a bench here under this really cute window here that looks into the beautiful yard, and that way the dining table will be able to be a little bit more kind of shoved in the corner, and you'll have more walkway here, and it's not going to feel tight, and you'll be able to have a really good sized dining room here. So it's going to be more modern looking. We'll do some really cool shelves here, cool leather brackets on those shelves, and we'll do a custom hood, vent cabinetry hood that I'm very excited about, and then we'll have built-in fridge, microwave, always lots of storage. I think it's very important. And yeah, so we'll continue all the way here, and then we'll have a built-in bench here. So
nice. And so will this be like stainless steel appliances, or what will?
Stainless steel, so it'll be kind of a hidden hood vent in there, and a built-in cabinet hood vent here, hood there. So it'll look really modern. It's gonna be flat doors, but it's got some texture on it, and then the hood is just a solid color, and then we'll do black hardware everywhere, so that's going to really look really nice. And then a really nice backsplash. So the backsplash is actually going to be kind of the star of the show here, which sometimes they do it more on the cabinets, but I think that's going to be the backsplash here.
Awesome. And so what sort of countertops will you have?
Quartz, yeah. I actually have the samples with me as well, so I can show you that later if you'd like. But yes, we mostly always do quartz countertops, especially in the kitchen. I think maybe you could do it in, you know, smaller areas like maybe your laundry room and maybe some bathrooms you could do laminate, and sometimes for the price of the house it's worth it. But mostly I think people like just the hard surface, and just it's no maintenance, it's easy to clean, it just looks really nice and rich. And then you can do your undermount sink, which is really nice as well, and people appreciate that, those little details. So.
Awesome. Yeah. So before we move on to the bedrooms, I'd love to just kind of chat through the flooring. So let's kind of talk through the flooring you guys are going to be using. We can see that there was carpet here before. You've torn it up, and actually pretty decent looking hardwood floors. So I'd love to just hear, you know, you talk through the choice on using the laminate or refinishing the hardwood floors. I know for myself personally, the market I invest in, if this was like a century home, we'd probably refinish the hardwood floors, but because this is kind of like, it's in that like 60s, 70s thing, like I think the newer flooring does make sense, but I'd love to hear your opinion.
Exactly. Well, that's usually exactly what we run into. I try to always keep it, but sometimes we run into the numbers. Just refit. This one's in really good shape, so you could probably just stain it or keep it as is. However, if you're going to refinish it and stain it, it's usually a lot more money.
You're looking about
laminate.
$8 to $12 a square foot to refinish, when you can do laminate installed for $4 or $5. So what's the price difference? Depending on your budget and how everything falls, that's one thing that you can cut if you have the flooring.
And it breaks your heart because you try to really keep that, and it feels bad to just put laminate on it, but sometimes it's kind of better, first of all, money-wise, and also like just here there's a pretty good line, so we actually might keep this. We found a really good deal on the laminate that we could return if we ended up not taking it, so we were just like, let's buy it and kind of decide and see where we actually just took possession of this not far ago, so we just pulled it up. But just the continuous too, sometimes you run into, you want to keep the floor but it doesn't go through everywhere. Like here we would have to cut it.
Transition.
Same thing in another flip that we did, we would have liked to keep it, but then in the kitchen area I wouldn't have had, and that was completely open, so it's like where do you cut it? It wouldn't make it nicer to just have a continuous floor, and it looks bigger and it just has that nice flow. So sometimes that's the problem with hardwood. You can have a really good spot where it's in good shape, but then not through the whole house. So sometimes, so here you could do you know, maybe an LVP here and do keep the flooring here, but that's what I can remember. It doesn't go into the bedroom again or the hallway, so unfortunately, I think we will go with
such a limited space.
Because it's just the living room, so it's going to make it too choppy.
Where if you have all the same flooring throughout, it just feels like everything flows.
Even if we would have gone kind of in the hallway, maybe we could have done just the kitchen, but I do like when the floor just continues everywhere. So
100%.
But yes, you're right. It's nice to be able to keep it. For sure.
All right, let's check out the one of the bedrooms and chat through what we'll be doing there.
I think we'll do the whole flooring everywhere, the laminate everywhere, and then it does really update the space. We've just done a house kind of similar to this when you update all the doors, the trim, new paint, new flooring, and new closet doors as well.
Awesome. Yeah, let's check out the basement.
Yeah, and the basement's really good. We're going to salvage most of the basement, I think. You might as well talk about it.
Yeah, this is one of kind of the most cosmetic house we've ever done, in the sense that we're not going to change that much in the basement. Maybe change the carpet, but it's still in really good shape. It's just not maybe more modern, but again, probably trim. Just to update it instead of that small trim that you see here, and just some paint. If you see in the half bathroom there, it's like a bright green, so change that. But other than that, the basement is in really good shape, and again, it's always kind of money wise, is it worth investing a lot? And
it's a good spot to be able to like just basically see where the budget falls, and this is a good place that you can cut because it's very livable. You have a really nice closet, you have a big bedroom here, bigger than the upstairs bedrooms, with a huge closet, lots of storage. The mechanical room's nice, you have a cold room. This is a good TV area. We'll get rid of that hutch. Maybe if the budget gets tight, you just put a coat of paint on it, if that. So it's nice to have that flexibility with homes like this, so this was a really good find.
Or if the budget's really going well, we could do kind of a little bit of a TV area with maybe electric fireplace in this case, or something to kind of just make it a little bit more homey and, you know, maybe sellable more quickly. But I think people can picture that in this case very easily. Sometimes it's more chopped up and you have to really do something to kind of center the space, but I think in this case it's really nice and livable here. So.
And the foundation looks like it's in really good shape. We always try to check that, look for cracks in the mechanical room or anywhere you can get, and it's a really good house, really good find.
Awesome. I love this project, guys. I'm really excited to see what you guys do with the finished product. So that's the story behind 47 Brown Crescent. Thank you, Fraser and Vanessa, again for taking the time and just being so open with your information. I know the audience really enjoys it. And so if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and otherwise, if people want to get in contact, what's the best way?
For me, probably my Instagram, Magdalena_designs, and I also have a Facebook page that you can follow as well.
Yeah, and then YXL Real Estate Investments, and you can just follow me on Instagram at Fraser Nybo. And yeah, it was great going through this with you, and yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out to Saskatoon and interviewing us. That's awesome.
Awesome, and there's going to be a lot more videos with them, so stay tuned.